I'm attacked by robbers. When you are arresting the robbers, do you arrest me, the owner of the home, in addition to the robbers? No. But we find a weird scenario where our security guards who were on duty here that night and our two caretakers who were also here, who were taken hostage, their phones taken away from them and locked up in the security post, they were the ones who have been invited by the Ghana Police Service, and statements taken from them. We had to bail them from police custody a few days ago.
Now, have they been charged and with what information I picked up indicates with
they have not been charged. As I speak to you, they have not been charged. That's what I know. But they have caution statements have been taken from them, and we have bailed.
We'll bring you much more on that particular media briefing that we are told ended a while ago at the NPP headquarters, and we'll be joined over the telephone lines by our correspondent on the ground, Kwache Afre Nyama. But away from that now, and the Acting Inspector General of the Ghana Police Service, COP John Kudalo, has outlined his vision for the force. Now, at a regional commanders conference in Accra this morning, COP John Kudalo said it is important for the force to work towards eliminating indiscipline in the service.
For us to sustain the gains we have made over the years, it will require that we remain the disciplined institution that we are created to be. Unfortunately, commanders here will agree with me that indiscipline of all kinds have become a common feature of our institution and threatening to tear it apart. We have come this far with indiscipline in the police service because commanders and officers condone little things and make it unnecessary and make unnecessary compromises in the name of being liberal officers so that they may look good in the eyes of the rank and file. For instance, it's a common feature for the rank and file to wear their uniform without name tags, walk in town in uniform without their headgears, and even enter and leave the various headquarters in uniforms without headgear, while officers and commanders look on unconcerned. Some drive all kinds of vehicles in uniform without their caps. Others drive marked police vehicles without uniform, while others hold their caps in their hands in uniform and brace up for officers who unfortunately accept such conduct. I dare say that some officers are equally guilty of such conduct. The public is not enthused about such conduct, and such conduct undermines our effort to instill discipline and professionalism. Indeed, we can never claim to be maintaining discipline when we overlook such conduct. We are hereby directed to go back to the basics and deal with such infractions, because when such minor misconducts are ignored, they tend to break our resolve to deal with serious ones, thereby leading to further compromises and unprofessional conduct. In the same vein, the Police Intelligence and Professional Standards Unit Department, PIPS, is to ensure expeditious but fair and impartial investigations into all reports before them. This is to sustain the confidence of the general public in the department in particular and the police in general, as well as enhancing our professional status. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all too soon, 2015 Christmas and the New Year are here with us. Unfortunately, such joyous periods come with increasing criminal activities, which commanders must plan for. It is our responsibility as an institution to ensure that residents of this country enjoy the festive period in relative peace and without fear of crime. This we can do by intensifying our day and night patrols, as well as being on top of our policing activities. To achieve this requires a lot of planning. In line with this, Operation Father Christmas was launched on Friday, 20th November 2015. Following that, the Headquarters Operational Directorate has released a National Operational Plan for the festive period. The National Operational Plan should guide regional commanders to develop their plans on receipt of the National Plan, while divisional commanders craft their plans based on the regional plans. In all, I expect regional and divisional operational plans for the festive periods to be ready in the shortest possible time.
You're watching News Today here on Joy News Multi TV. We'll return shortly with some more stories. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, the opposition New Patriotic Party has held a media briefing in protest of what it describes as, quote, an attack on democracy after the party's headquarters was raided on Monday. Freddie Blay is acting chairman of the opposition New Patriotic Party.
We've called you here to protest against last Monday's unprovoked, orchestrated, simultaneous dawn raid on our two main national offices. This very place, our national headquarters in Asylum Town, and its annex at Kokomlemle by armed men in military uniform. Hours after the Monday dawn raid, you will recall that we addressed the press indicating that our party will conduct its own investigations apart from that of the police authorities and let the public know the outcome. This is to update you on our own findings. Our findings so far suggest that what happened Monday was a wickedly orchestrated attempt to turn this office into a bloodbath, and with one aim only, to score a political point against the country's largest opposition party as we draw ever closer to the next general elections. Ladies and gentlemen, the details unfolding are frightening. After a careful review of the invasion, evidence and subsequent events to date, the NPP is in no doubt that the attack on our offices was conducted by the state, specifically using certain rogue elements within the national security setup in full collaboration with some identifiable individuals now bent on destroying the fortunes of the party. An attack on the NPP is an attack on Ghana's democracy.
We'll bring you much more on that in subsequent broadcasts. But away from that, the British High Commissioner to Ghana, John Benjamin, says his country has begun a program that allows prisoner exchange between his country and others. According to him, the aim of the project is to remove such offenders from the British system completely. He was speaking on the Super Morning Show on Joy FM earlier today.
Well, as I said before, what we do in the UK, when a foreign national offender, as it's called, completes a prison sentence, they're deported. No ifs, no buts, wherever they come from in the world, they're deported back to their country of origin. So that would happen anyway. And our interest here is in removing them from the UK prison system earlier than that, because they're eventually going to be sent back to their country of origin anyway, and allow them to do that before that point so they can reintegrate better in the society where they're going to end up anyway. Of course, we have, there's no secret, we have issues in the UK of prison overcrowding. The government this week in the UK announced new prison building projects. This just forms part of our management of the British prison system. But we're not talking huge numbers of people in either direction. It's just a tool to allow us to do this. When the voluntary prisoner transfer agreement existed previously, very, very few people wanted to take advantage of it, even though, again, they knew that on completion of their sentence they'd be sent back to their country of citizenship anyway. So this is just another stage down that path.
Roughly how many Ghanaians are in prison in the UK?
I believe it's around 150 at the moment. Obviously, the figures I get have a certain time lag, a few months time lag, so the number goes up and down. And not all of them, in fact, not that many of them are necessarily within the scope of this agreement, because if you read it, it has conditions. There have to be a minimum sentence period, for example. There are references to certain types of crime. So far from all of them would fall within the scope of this. That's just in theory, but in practice, because this agreement, as I said, like almost any other, is not retrospective, then it really applies to people sentenced from now on, pretty much effectively, rather than people who've already in the prison system.
Now, the Public Relations Officer of Dangote Company is accusing competitor Diamond Cement of using their flour youth for their selfish purposes. Now, authorities of Dangote Cement are of the view that the protesters should have followed due process in registering their displeasure rather than resorting to demonstrations. The youth yesterday demonstrated against the influx of Dangote Cement in Aflao.
We don't see anything wrong with that. So we are saying that what our brothers are saying is not in the proper position. If anything at all, they have to liaise with the proper authorities and hear their side of the story. The trade minister is there, the president himself is there, he's trying every day, bringing to donor countries for companies to come. So if Dangote, a sister country from this West Africa sub-region, and we know now we have three free trade zone. So if anything at all like that, this so-called the youth of Aflao have to liaise with those authorities, petition them not to go on streets by demonstration. Bring already this thing into the system. The same method that Cement did from Tabligo, backing it to the so-called old timber market in Aflao. But because of the pollution in the system, that is why they quickly set for a place. It can take a company 10 years to look for, to come to the market, to study the field very well before setting. It can take another company 1 year or 2 years before it can come and settle. As I'm speaking to you now, Dangote is in the system in this country for so long, and they are certainly at Tema. They do bring their order to Tema Harbour.
Now, the tertiary desalination project in Accra may be shut down soon. Now, this is a result of money owed the contractors, Befisa Aqua Limited. Now, if the threat to shut down goes through, the contractors would demand the guaranteed amount on the agreement and pack off. The $125 million project has a capacity to desalinate 60,000 cubic meters of seawater a day, providing fresh water to more than 300,000 people in various municipalities of the Greater Accra administrative region. Now, the project marks a significant step in improving drinking water facilities in the country, which is witnessing rapid population growth. Now, let's get some answers from the communications manager of the Ghana Water Company Limited, Stanley Mate, who joins us live now over the telephone. Mr. Mate, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, does Ghana Water Company Limited really owe Befisa Aqua Limited?
Yeah, yes, we do.
Okay. And are there any timelines as to when exactly you hope to pay off this debt?
Yeah, both parties have been engaging with each other, and we have an arranged mode of payment. So we're running, we're going through it with it.
If you say you're going to do it, I mean, are there any timelines? Because there are still threats, possible threats, it may be shut down, and that is going to affect Ghanaians.
We have an arrangement, and we are going by the arrangement.
Tell us about this arrangement you speak of.
Oh, that is between the parties. It's a BOOT arrangement, a build, own, operate, and transfer arrangement. So the Ghana Water Company Limited buys bulk water from the Befisa plant or the Accra desalination plant. Okay, and then we distribute with color revenue and we pay. Okay, unfortunately, we have been paying regularly, and we have been paying regularly because the cost of production is quite high compared to the approved tariff. So we have that challenge, but we are doing all we can to be settling the bills.
I see. So was this projection not made? If you speak of cost of operation being higher than anticipated, was this not projected in the first place?
Yes, we knew about it.
So then, why do you cite that as a challenge now, particularly after you're unable to pay?
For instance, the cost of production currently as I speak is 8 cedis per 1,000 liters. The approved tariff is 1 cedi 78 per square. So you appreciate the fact that the difference is quite high. Okay, so then the Ghana Water Company Limited will be affected in a way. It's seriously affecting our operations, but we are doing all we can to settle the bill. So we keep engaging them, and then we settle at good times and at specific periods. So we are doing our best.
So, you are doing your best, some will say, but is your best good enough to a point where they are threatening of shutting down and moving out?
That threat has not come to our notice yet. But I know we have a very good relationship, and we engage each other. When there are challenges, we try to solve them, and all that. I don't think it has come to that yet. But
I see.
The Ghana Water Company Limited is doing all it can to make sure that relationship still exists, and then we can serve the people of Teshin, Nungwa, and Hillsborough effectively.
Right. Many thanks for your time on News Today. Stanley Mate is the Communications Director of the Ghana Water Company Limited. He joined us with some answers as to why that particular project seems to be stalling. And we are told that there's a possibility it may eventually be shut down. Well, he says the Ghana Water Company Limited is doing everything within its power to offset that particular debt. You're still watching News Today here on Joy News Multi TV. There's more news right ahead. Now, as part of measures to ensure customer satisfaction as well as open up the Ghanaian market, RwandAir has thrown the bouquet to surprise its loyal passengers and clientele in Ghana with free tickets to some of its exciting and popular destinations like Kigali, Johannesburg, Lusaka and Dubai.
Events dubbed Appreciation Party dedicated passengers to the airline were treated to a relaxing evening with food, drinks, music and dance. Free tickets were given out to Ghanaian passengers and other clientele to their preferred destinations, with one passenger winning the latest Samsung phone. Some passengers shared the experience with RwandAir.
For this great opportunity, I was not expecting this. I'm not expecting this. Really happy.
The country manager for RwandAir Ghana, Shukrani Hemedi, explains that the essence of the Appreciation Party is to draw their customers closer and make them a family.
We're expecting them to go and spread the news outside where they're working, their shops and everything, and show them RwandAir is not just about the money or just about tickets, but also like a Ghanaian family, yes.
The airline currently operates 8 aircraft to various destinations. It is expecting 4 more aircraft, including an Airbus A330.
Now, there have been concerns over why the country is yet to fully optimize its oil and gas exploration since its discovery some 5 years ago. An oil expert, Theophilus Champon, provides some answers.
I partly side with the line of thought that it is a governance issue, because if you do recall, in 2008, a year after we discovered, the oil, there was a big forum at Game Power where everyone was like, okay, we need to make this resource a blessing and not a curse. And we did, in a way, rushed through with the development, and so we encountered a number of challenges. And then fast forward 3 years down the line from 2012 to now, it's as though we never really had oil coming into the economy. But that's because of a number of things. One, the country became middle income, and suddenly they could not get access to a number of the concessionary financing that they used to get before. And so what's happening now is that aid inflows have dwindled, and your typical money that would have come from an IMF or World Bank or any other such multilateral body has also dwindled because you're now a middle-income country. And so what's happened then is that the oil revenues have basically substituted for the loss of the monies that would have come through the multilateral sources. That's one dimension. There are other dimensions to deal with on the governance side. For example, the EMP law, we know the old law isn't fit for purpose. That notwithstanding, we have still passed as much as 8 new agreements under the old law, whereas we have a new EMP bill 6 years in the waiting, and we still haven't passed that. So there are a number of different dimensions, different facets to this, but critically it does boil down to the point that we do have major governance issues and challenges to address.
The Swiss Ghanaian Chamber of Commerce has expressed worry over Ghana's equity market. At the group's 23rd annual general meeting, it described Ghana as a destination that is no longer attractive for equity investment because Ghana's equity market does not meet investment criteria for most foreign investors.
Businesses that have interest in Ghana, but we also have Ghanaian businesses that have interest in Switzerland. But when you mention the Swiss Ghana Chamber, the kinds of companies that come up readily, the Nestle's of this world, the Panalpinas, the SGS, the Barry Calibos, these are all Swiss companies who are members of this chamber. And today we've held the annual general meeting where we've looked at the operations of the chamber, we've looked at the accounts of the chamber, we've looked at the strategic orientation of the chamber, and we've set targets before the management of the chamber, and it's our objective that we will pursue these in the interests of members of the chamber. The representative we had from the Union Bank of Switzerland was analyzing the attractiveness of Ghana as a destination for institutional investments. Now that is different from foreign direct investment, which is a different category. And then, of course, you have individual assets management, which is also a sort of investment. And even within the institutional investment category, he made a clear distinction between equities and bonds. UBS confirmed that they actually took part in the recent Eurobond, flotation that the government of Ghana was involved in. But when it comes to equities, it was clear that our equity market does not meet their investment criteria. And therefore, from that perspective, Ghana cannot be said to be an attractive destination for equity investments.
Well, that'll be all for Business on News Today. And before we go, the chief of LAS says he will put his life on the line to abort any plan to lease, surveying and mapping school land. Now, this follows the revelation by the Deputy Executive Director of the Lands Commission that plans are far advanced to lease part of the school's land for the construction of an office complex. Speaking in an exclusive interview with Joy News' Latif Idris, Ni Kobi Tete Churu III said they will use legal means to stop the process.
It should never happen. Please, what is happening in Ghana? People have demonstrated against this matter. Students are being ejected from their accommodation. Simply, it is not right. Offices. Are there no offices around the area? Education and health are matters that should not be toyed with. So, when we say the survey school, which hinges on education, all Ghanaians should be concerned that the place should not be alienated to anybody at all who will be constructing offices and what they call a mall. Between education and shopping center, which is more important? So I don't know who is behind this matter at all. But in my capacity as the landman chair and the Alodia owner of that piece of land there, I'll take on whoever alienates that land to somebody, and also who is going to do any development on that land. I have spoken. I've never opened my mouth too wide like that. But so many things are happening in Ghana now that we should all help the president when we say bribery and corruption. These are little parts of bribery and corruption.
Well, we'll bring you a longer version of that particular interview on The Pulse, our news analysis program at 3 p.m. with Stephen Anti. But that's how we wrap up news today here on Joy News Multi TV. My name is Kwabena Chenche Hineboating. Do log on to myjoyonline.com for more news. Enjoy the rest of our program.